that you will make. Okay, so all of this all of this basically, there are many structure that can make up each and every matrix that you have. So for example, intellectual capital can be a combination of human capital, relational capital, and structural capital, where you see all this knowledge and skills, work-related experience, competencies can qualify as intellectual capital as well. So essentially what we have done is to simplify this, because if you look at the formal definition, some concept they could actually combine all this together. But what I will do is to give you basically some key matrices that you need to monitor over the 5 years that is relevant to research and development. However, feel free to add on and to design based on your research and based on your journey ahead. So next, let's look at intellectual capital. So intellectual capital, we measure the number of journals and publications. I'm sure you have that figure, and I'm sure you already have that plan. And you look at patents files and granted, and I think this as well is being taken care of, and you could put that as part of your matrix. And this is something new, validation and iterations on customers. Why is it intellectual capital? Because the key takeaway from this workshop is you'll be able to learn the methodology on doing customer validation, on doing product market fit validation, and these are learning experiences. This adds on to your intellectual capital, especially with regards to selling your product into the market. So if you monitor this, then it will actually directly contribute to the success of your products. The fourth thing could be validation and iterations on product features that you will make, things like that. So these are some examples, but what you need to do is to look specifically on your project and to look specifically on what you can achieve out there. Next, we have human capital. In human capital, we can keep track of the number of students, masters or PhD that we produce to our research venture through the technology that we have researched with. I think this is normal for universities. Number of public engagement, training and awareness that we will conduct, especially awareness seminars that we can conduct into the market segment that we're targeting. For example, if I'm doing drug discovery and my products is targeting cancer patients, so I would then create a couple of awareness clinics and seminars that will target a certain number of audience that can be actually targeted and included in your impact metrics. So number of jobs engaged and recruited, this is actually direct to the creation of human capital. Value of jobs engaged. So you can also include the number of vendor creation that you create by the act of commercializing your products into the market. And then we look at social capital. Social capital is mainly bridge with customers. So the number of validation, the number of engagement that you have with customers later, you will find out that you will have at least 2 or 3 cycles of validation that you need to go through. And this will bring you some figures of the engagement that you have, the bridge that you have linked with the customers. It could be via customer segment, or it could be number of customers as well. Linkages with investors. As we are speaking today, you are already engaging yourself with Cradle Funds on your behalf. So essentially, this is one link that you can actually put in your impact matrix. And we should aspire to create as many linkages with investors, because this will help us get recognized and will help build a rapport so that our fundraising plans will be smooth. Next, we look at the linkages with the beneficiaries or the users of your products. So this, over the years, would have to grow in order to make your products, sales and services viable. And last but not least, you look at cultural capital. So in a culture, you look at norms, knowledge, skills and values. So from where we are today, and from where you were before you had the spin-off companies, before you start thinking about commercialization, before you met an industry partner, there's a lot of transfer of culture that is happening. Whether it's the norms that people in the industry, it's actually different from the norms when you're working in a university. Especially, of course, together with the knowledge that you acquire in the act of selling your products out into the market will bring you some cultural acumen as well. And skills and values, these are the skills to sell, the skills to pitch your ideas to investors, and then the values that you actually adopt in terms of, for example, the decision making, the speed that you have to decide on the certain things to make selling viable. As in compared to the university environment where you are more structured in terms of time frame, and people expect you to go through the processes. But when you're doing business, sometimes opportunities come up in just a very short period of time, which you have to then decide and execute within that short time frame. So these are different values that you will acquire. So you can measure all these things. So some examples would be the number of customer validation conducted, because when you do customer validation, you actually embody the culture of the customer, and you actually try to empathize and try to solve whatever problems that they have. Next is percentage of increase in efficiency. So whatever that you do to increase the efficiency of this, bringing your products out into the market, could contribute directly to the cultural capital. Self-sustainability measurement as well can be. And of course, industrial and entrepreneurial experience, individual joining the team. So when you have an entrepreneur, or when you have someone with X number of years in the industry joining your team, he will bring along the culture from the industry and will actually educate and embody into a new culture inside your team. So this can be reported as metrics as well.